I think a lot of people have the wrong impression about what Windsor's all about. We recruited hundreds of people from all over Ontario, all over Canada to come work here in Windsor. So it was important for us to make sure their quality of life was as good as possible so that they would not want to leave. My parents individually came over after the Second World War. They were immigrants. They met, they were married, and then worked together to build a business, Schwab Meats. They had a lot of pride being Canadian. They wanted to instill that in their kids. So I think that was an important part of my upbringing. We have 4 children, Hannah, Jacob, Joey, and Katie. Yeah, they're great kids, hardworking. They're also very giving in their ways as well. And so we're hoping that, through our example, that they will continue to be giving and hopefully take over the philanthropy work that we do, as well as being involved with the groups that we're involved with, or other groups as they see fit. So very proud of our kids. So Lisa's dad, he was political. He was a city councillor, he was an educator, he was an administrator, and he was the chairman of the Windsor Utilities Commission. So he was always involved in the city from a municipal point of view. Lisa's mom, she was always involved in the art scene. Her passion came from the cultural side. So it sort of makes sense that their 2 passions are exhibited in Lisa, and that's where our passion for supporting the community comes from.
We're extraordinarily honored by this award. However, it's more important that we focus on the groups that we give to, and the work that they do is unbelievable.
Our foundation really was created to try to consolidate some of the giving. I mean, there's lots of needs in the community, and our focus is really kind of 2 sides. There's the healthcare side, so that's Cancer Center Foundation, the We Care for Kids, Transition to Betterness, Canadian Mental Health Association, and hospice. Those are the big recipients of the healthcare side. The mission sort of falls in between, the downtown mission falls in between that and the cultural side. So the cultural side being the Art Gallery of Windsor, the Symphony, the Windsor International Film Festival, and then just our work with the Spitfires and the LaSalle Vipers and the Lakeshore Canadians. My business partners are John and Stephen Savage, 2 brothers. John Savage and I were in school together. I was in computer science. John was doing his MBA. And we started talking about what our plans were post-university. And one thing led to another, and we started thinking about, well, there's this new thing called the personal computer, and businesses are starting to use it, but there's not a lot of software for it, so let's sell the computers and build software, because that's my background, is the software side of things. And that's really was the start of it. And then we built a number of applications, some of which took off, and we built businesses around those applications, and some of those, particularly in the insurance side, led us into the insurance business proper. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. So the partnership, which is going on 40 years, or is 40 years now, it's like a marriage. You sort of, sometimes you don't really feel like doing something, but you sort of say, okay, because the other partner wants to do it. So that was how we started in hockey. The real hockey fan in the ownership group is John Savage. There was an opportunity to buy the Spitfires, and slowly but surely took over the Spitfire ownership completely. But that's been a lot of fun, frankly. There's a lot more to it than just throwing 24 kids out on the ice and seeing what happens. One of the other things we're doing at the Spitfires, every month we pick a cause that all of the money from the 50/50s goes to, right? And that's a great way that the hockey team and the fans in the stands can help raise money. And when we look at it over the course of the entire season, probably $250,000 will be raised for various charities through the 50/50 at the WFCU and the Spitfires. So our focus has been, we've done a lot of development of buildings in the city, but in downtown in particular, finding those buildings, particularly on Chatham Street, like the old fish market, the old Auberge, or I guess it was Chatham Street Grill, the old beer market, or Cadillac Jack's, the old steakhouse, and refurbishing those buildings. So that's very gratifying. So we'd like, so we're sort of taking care of one block, Lisa, myself, our partners. We'd like other developers to do the same thing. So, you know, clean, beautiful, and safe is kind of our
mission,
our little slogan, if you will. But again, it's what impression do you want people to have when they come into Canada for the first time and when they're leaving Canada for the last time? So it's, you know, we think downtown is vitally important to Windsor as a whole.